I kind of flipped out during a live stream about a week ago, which isn't completely unusual because weird things tend to happen during my live stream because I try things I haven't tried before, I always deviate from the plan, and I sometimes get carried away. But this was a little different, and I want to talk about it because there's way more to it than me just flipping out. You see, I've been thinking about doing a live stream series called Fly on the Wall Recording Sessions, and I had a session coming up, and I mentioned to the artist that maybe we would do his for the first one of them. John Beatty Clark is a singer-songwriter who's hired me over the years to record some of his songs, and we've become friends. And he's also the guy who gave me the Bobcat, which you've seen in some of my videos, which is a whole other story. I've seen him perform a few times, and he's very, very entertaining, but he's not a professional full-time musician. He does this because he loves it. And he doesn't have a band, so to record, he brought in some old friends and neighbors, and I brought in a studio drummer, Dave Anthony. Now, this is not the kind of session I normally do, but John's a friend of mine, and I thought it would be a great candidate for my first Fly on the Wall live stream so that people could see how a bunch of musicians who have mostly never played together before and have not played the song before build it up from the beginning. And that's what we started to do. And when I say beginning, I mean people walking in and meeting for the first time, loading in the drums and setting up everybody else's gear, setting up all the mics, checking the recording levels, let me hear the snare, getting the sounds right.
Yeah.
Let me start with just drums and bass, making sure that everybody's got good headphone mixes. Todd, are you hearing everything in there?
Yeah.
Going over the song and letting people work out their parts. Making sure we got the right tempo.
Yeah, let's run it as it is now.
And then going over the arrangement, which is how the song starts, which instruments are playing when they're not playing, and how we end the song.
You need to be more sparse on the guitar when you first come in.
Then we did our first take to make sure that the speed is right, that the parts are working out, that the headphone mixes are good, and just to see how everything feels.
Yeah, just a bum, bum. Hey, Dave, come on down here. Let's just listen.
And then we listened to the playback so we could hear what's working and what needs changing.
It's like a similar.
And then we did another take with the new changes. Normally, I would have done pre-production with everybody ahead of time to work out everything, but because of the schedules, this was the only day we could do it, which meant it was going to be a long day and a lot of work. At this point, we're about 3.5 hours into the session. But I find these kind of projects a test of my skills. Can I pull all these different players, the sound of their instruments, and their different skill levels together to create a cohesive sound? And can I keep the momentum going, which means keeping the vibe right in the studio, which is very important. We did a few more takes till I was happy with the drum part and the basic rhythm section, and then we moved on to the guitar solo, which the guitarist, Kai Burton, wanted to overdub later after he'd done his rhythm track. And it was at this point, about 5 hours into the live stream, that I actually looked at some of the comments from the viewers. And that's what set me off. Hey, I wanna say something to everybody out there. So in case anybody missed it, the name of the stream is Being a Fly on the Wall. And I never do this. I don't let people come into sessions. I'm doing this as a favor because people asked and were interested in this. If I keep getting negative comments, I'm going to shut the stream down and I'm not going to do this again. I'm working with these guys. These guys are not a band. They're a bunch of guys that are friends working on it. It's not like they've been playing the song out. There's going to be mistakes. People are working shit out. If you are a fly in the studio now and you said the that you're saying on this chat, I'd kick your ass out of this studio. Everybody here is working really freaking hard, and they need to be vulnerable. They need to take chances and make mistakes, okay? Now, it's one thing to ask questions and make comments. That's cool. But you're not here to say negative things. This is not like, oh, you know, town square, free speech. This is my studio. You're in my studio, you know? And maybe somebody hits a wrong note. Maybe somebody's a little offbeat, but we're working that out. So you're here. I can't not get Lucky out of here. He's not lucky. Knock him off the freaking stream. If you think you're so good and you're going to make negative comments, do your own damn sessions and stream them, and I'll get on there and I'll ride your ass. And it goes on and on. If you want to see the whole thing, it's on the live stream replay on my YouTube channel. But this is not a video where I'm going to do a tirade against trolls and negative comments. I usually ignore most of them. And it's not a video about how I freaked out during the live stream, which I often do, and it's kind of entertaining. No, this is about standing up for artists, which I've done my whole life, often to the detriment of my career, but it's the only way I know to be true to myself. Strangely enough, that's a little unusual with many professional producers. All this got me thinking about people's lack of understanding the creative process when making music. And this actually includes a lot of professional artists and producers that I know, because most people have only made records one way. They don't know about making records other ways, so when they look at it, it seems a little strange to them. There's a lot of ways to make a record. Like a band that has done hundreds, if not thousands of shows together, playing traditional acoustic instruments only. And you're gonna record them live, all together at the same time, and they're gonna nail it in a couple of takes because they're some of the most accomplished improvisational musicians around, and they've been practicing these songs for weeks. Or a rock band in a home studio that is also gonna record live and get it in 1 or 2 takes, but are not focused on pristine performances and sounds as much as raw power and emotion. Or 2 serious singer-songwriters recording with a no-frills setup in a cabin in the woods because they want privacy and intimacy for their finely crafted tunes. And sometimes it's just about making it up on the spot and having fun. Or you might record by yourself, layering one instrument after another, working all day and night till you get it done. There's also those projects with artists that defy definition and have their own unique way of doing things.
Of all these chickens.
But on the other hand, some records are made in big budget studios where there's not a lot of room for mistakes. It's very competitive. And everybody adheres to a process and a system that's been around for decades. It is its own world. None of these processes are right or wrong or worse or better than the other. The only thing that matters is what's right for the artist. My main point is that an artist needs a safe place where they can create, where they feel safe enough to go out on a limb and make mistakes and try new things. One of my favorite things to say to an artist when they're recording is, hey, give me an unsafe take, or hey, on the next take, can you only do stupid and totally inappropriate things? Because sometimes the most ridiculous thing is actually the coolest thing. And the right thing ends up being the most boring and lame thing. But the artist must feel that they're in a safe place where they can do it. Because remember, inspiration is very fragile. Inspiration is like this thing that's just floating right on the tip of your mind and the tip of your tongue and the slightest thing, and it's gone. So it must be protected. But back to my flipping out. I just got to say that I don't really understand why people even bother making negative comments. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else. But I think maybe they're doing it because they don't know what it is that they're seeing. And I'm also not sure whether I'm going to do this again because I don't know if it's good for the artist and I don't know if it's the right thing. I've had people suggest that we don't do any comments, but I want people to be involved. So I think maybe we'll do comments that are just subscriber-based comments or something like that. I will still be doing my live streams where I'm performing because I stop and I talk and I do all sorts of crazy stuff and sometimes I dance. Anyway, I would love to know your thoughts on the subject. I'm open to challenges and opposing ideas just as long as you're not a jerk about it. So leave a comment. Remember to subscribe, and always be unique.